Good morning. We're coming to you live from the new executive building. We're live over Radyo ng Bayan, PTV 4, and IBC 13. And it's brought to you by Radio TV Malacañang. Good morning, Secretary Lacierda.
Magandang umaga, Marie. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Members of the Malacañang Press Corps. As you all know, yesterday we made already a statement on the voluntary surrender of Miss Lim-Napoles. I'm sure you're interested to know the chronology of events, so we might as well just start out and with the chronology of events or the timeline. Yesterday afternoon, when the president announced, in the morning when the president announced in his interview that there was a 10 million peso bounty, after that, there was subsequent news that Attorney Lorna Capunan mentioned on TV, or there was a crawler on ANC that there was a statement coming from Attorney Capunan that her client was willing to surrender. I think around 12:37, I don't recall if I called or Lorna called, but we discussed, I think I called, and I inquired, and we discussed and verified, was your statement that I saw on TV true or not, that her client was willing to surrender? And she said yes. And she already mentioned at that point that they wanted to surrender, but Miss Lim-Napoles was fearing for her life. There was threats on her life. So, and I asked her if she was willing to, her client was willing to surrender. First of all, I asked her, I will assume, I didn't ask her, but I made a comment, I would assume that you still have communications with your client. And she said, I have no direct communications, but I have a way to my client. So I said, so what do you want? So you want to surrender? And she said at that point, we would like to surrender, if at all. Let me confirm with my client, but we would like to surrender to the president. Why the president? Because she's the person that we trust. So I said, you discuss it with your client, and then I will discuss it, I will raise it with the president. That was at 12:37. I think we discussed around 10 minutes. So after that, I went to the president. This was after his function at the Apolinario Mabini Awards, when he went back to his office. So I went up to him and informed the president about the developments, and he just told me, ang dami nating leads, there were leads of this and that, so this is just another lead. So sabi niya, pag bumalik na siya, let me know. So, okay sir, so we'll let you know. Around 4:06 in the afternoon, Attorney Capunan called me back, and she said that her client was willing to surrender to the president. Her only request safety be secured, owing to the fact that there was, on her part, there was fear or there were threats on her life. And then after that, I went back to the president. When I saw the president, I understand that he already instructed Secretary Marrojas. So when I went to the president, Secretary Marrojas was already there. And I informed, and Executive Secretary Ochoa, and I informed them that according to Attorney Lorna Capunan, Ms. Lim-Napoles was willing to surrender yesterday. So we discussed already, the President already instructed Secretary Marrojas, as soon as she surrenders, turn over the custody to DILG or to PNP. So at that point, we made further discussions with Attorney Lorna Capunan, and the question was, where do I see you? Saan ba tayo magkikita? So, she obviously was, in my sense, that she was not in direct contact with Ms. Napoles. So she was talking through a conduit. So we were going back and forth on where to meet. And at that time, while they were still discussing on their end, Secretary Marrojas, upon instructions from the President, Secretary Marrojas was already preparing for the facility and how to secure the person of Ms. Lim-Napoles. Secretary Marrojas was calling his PNP personnel, chief I think he also called Chief Alan Purisima and some other police officials. And when it was confirmed that we were pushing through, I did not know what vicinity I was going. So I asked Attorney Kapunan, Lorna, exactly where are we supposed to see each other? Because she also didn't know where Ms. Napoles was. And at that point, she said, let's go to this vicinity na lang. So I was told to go to the vicinity of Pasong Tamo. So no time was indicated. She just told me, I'll see you in Pasong Tamo. Upon informing Secretary Marojas, he provided a vehicle for me and also the escorts to secure Ms. Napoles. Because we don't know exactly what time there was or how long it will take, I maybe lalampas ng dinner. Sabi ko, Yusek Manolo, Yusek Abi, join me, we'll have dinner first. With the idea that if may go signal na from Attorney Kapunan, split na kami, they'll go back to the office. On the way to, we left this building at around 6:50. And on the way to Pasong Tamo, I got a call from Attorney Kapunan to see her in white space. Apparently there was, Attorney Kapunan is a trustee of Red Cross. So, when I reached White, I saw Lorna, and then apparently Lorna, together with Lorna in a vehicle, was Mr. Jimmy Napoles. So, pag nakita si Lorna and Jimmy Napoles, they boarded the vehicle where I was. So we went to when they boarded, I asked them, where are we going? And sinabi ni Mr. Jimmy Napoles, or rather ni Jimmy Napoles was, let's go to Heritage Park. So we went to Heritage Park.
Oh, it was so near me.
Heritage Park.
So we went to Heritage. At that point, I was informing the president of the status. I was informing where I was. The president was also concerned for the situation. So at around 8:06, we reached Heritage Park. And we waited for... No, Heritage Park. The one...
Libingan?
The cemetery.
The
I don't know the place, sorry. I'm not from there.
Heritage.
Sa Libingan.
Libingan yun.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
Cemetery, gabi, hindi ako taga ron, sorry. Heritage Park sa loob. So we waited there from 8:06 until 9:08. Kinausap ni Mr. Napoles, may kausap siya, may tinetext siya. So at around 9:08, dumating na dalawang babae. Tapos tumawag, nakita namin yung dalawang babae, we didn't recognize sino sila. Tapos tumawag yon outside the car and then called up, sinagot ni Mr. Napoles, sila na pala yung dalawang babae na nasa labas ng sasakyan. So, yung isang babae si Mr. Napoles, yung isang babae, yung kanyang kasamba, I don't know kung kapag-anak or dala yung mga gamit ni Ms. Napoles. So, pagkatapos nun, dumiretso na kami sa palasyo informing the President that we are on our way back. At around 9:08 yon, 9:37 kami nakabalik sa palasyo. We arrived at the palace at around 9:37. Nagpa-security check sila, tapos si Ms. Napoles, tinignan po ng doktor. And there, tapos nun, nag-usap sila ni Pangulo, nandoon po si Secretary Almendra, Secretary Maroja, Secretary Karagdagang, si Executive Secretary Ochoa, si Yusek Valte, Yusek Abi, Yusek Valte, Yusek Quezon. At doon nag-usap sila, madali lang, 10 minutes, more or less mga 10 minutes yata yun. Si Attorney Lorna Kapunan nagsasalita, nagpapasalamat na the President agreed to for her to receive or to, what do you call that, for Lim-Napoles to voluntarily surrender to the President. And that the only thing that we started upon when we were discussing this whole thing was that she will be provided ample secure protection for the threats of her life. So, yun po nangyari. And nung nag-uusap, nung nagsabi si Pangulo, I've already instructed nandun din pala si Chief PNP Alan Purisima. So, I've already instructed General Purisima, Secretary Mar Rojas to make sure that your safety is assured. Ganun. So, nung paalis na kami, sabi ni Pangulong Aquino, total, puyat na tayo, damay-damay na tayo. So, papunta ng Krame, I was in the car with Mr. Napoles, yung kasama nila at saka si Attorney Kapunan. So we went together. The President went ahead na. So kami, nasa convoy kami nila, Secretary Mar, Secretary Rene Almendras, Secretary Karagdagang. So pagdating namin doon, she was brought to the holding area. Tapos, the usual procedure, booking procedure ginawa doon. The President wanted to make sure that the area was secure, so he went to inspect the premises. And after that, si Pangulong Aquino. So, yun po ang nangyari kagabi. Alright?
Okay, questions now. The first question, sir, will come from Florante Rosales of DZRH.
Florante.
Sir, magandang umaga po. Wala bang nakikitang special treatment? Nakikita ng ating mga kababayan yung special treatment dito kay Lim-Napoles. Bakit siya sa Pangulo nag-surrender?
Ang sabi po ni Attorney Kapunan sa amin, at inulit po ito ulit ni Attorney Kapunan sa harapan ni Presidente na given the situation, siya lang ang tanging taong mapagkakatiwalaan ng pamilya Napoles.
Bakit po ang Pangulo ay sumama pa doon sa Campo Crame at hindi na, siguro sa tingin ng taong bayan, hindi na siya kailangan pumunta with Napoles sa Campo Crame dahil i-turn over na kay Secretary Mar, PNP Chief. Di ba secure na siya noon, di ba?
Yun ang sinabi nga niya. Sabi niya, total, puyat na tayo rito, damay-damay tayo. But let me say it formally that the President has said this, that the presence of Ms. Napoles to finding out the truth. Yan po yung mahalaga. And the President views this matter very seriously. And he wanted and made sure that she's turned over to the courts. Kaya yun po ang ginawa ng ating Pangulo.
Two questions pa. Saan mo mapupunta ngayon 10 million reward money? Sa inyo?
Wala. Sinisingil na ako ni Kim, sabi ko wala.
Hindi pa kayo pwede bumalato?
Wala po yun.
Hindi, pero paano nga yun, sir? Saan po mapupunta? Wala na. So, yung sa kapatid niya?
Ay, yung sa kapatid niya, wala pa hong according to Secretary Mar Rojas, total at large pa siya, so yung bounty, I understand, stays.
5 million din ba yun, sir? O kasama sa 10 million?
5 daw. According to Secretary Mar Rojas, 5.
Okay, last question, sir. Pwede ba rin ba sumuko kay Pangulo Aquino yung iba pang fugitives like General Paran, Ecleo, Delphine Lee, Reyes Brothers, etc.?
Kung gusto na po nila, bakit po hindi?
Next
Pero
question,
kausapin po si Pangulo ang kayo tungkol dyan, case to case.
DZMM's Junri Hidalgo.
Magandang umaga po, Mr. Secretary.
Hi, Junri.
Babalikan ko lang po kanina na nag-ugnayan po kayo ni Attorney Kapunan. Sino ho ba'y tumawag? Ikaw ho ba'y tumawag o si Attorney Kapunan sa inyo?
Naalala ko parang ako kasi naalala ko nung si Yusek Quezon sinabi sa akin, there was a crawler on ANC na sabi na Kapunan, client Napoles willing to surrender. So I verified with her. Can I verify if this is true? If you're serious that you want your client to surrender. Sabi niya seryoso siya.
Kayo ho ba ay matagal nang kakilala ni Attorney Kapunan?
Nung ako ay nagtapos ng abogasya noong 1989, ang unang in-applyan kong trabaho ay sa Rocco Bunyag, Kapunan and Migalios. Ito po ay yung law firm po nila then Congressman, the late Senator Rocco, congressman pa po siya noon. It was a new firm, it was a breakaway firm from Accra. Mga dating mga Accra lawyers po yung mga partners and lawyers po ang member ng Rocco Bunyag Kapunan Migales. In fact, community, it is called the RoboCop Law Firm. So, I stayed there for only 3 years. After I passed the bar, I took a leave. I took up masters in at Asian Institute of Management. Then after a while, after I got married, I left the law firm. Mga hanggang 1992 ako doon or 1991. I don't remember. So, matagal na yun. So, after that, I moved to another law firm.
Secretary, doon po sa kainitan ng issue ng pork barrel scam, kayo ho ba ay may pagkakataon na nakakausap ni Atty. Kapunan?
Dumalaw siya sa office ko pero hindi ako ang pake ng kanyang dalaw. Nung nakita ni Benji, ang pake ng kanyang dalaw si Yusek Valte, hindi ako. Hindi kami nag-usap tungkol doon. Ito lang, ngayon lang nangyari.
Pero meron po kayo cellphone number niya?
Dahil matagal na kami magkakilala.
Opo. Paano niyo po sasalagay yung mga obserbasyon po na about po yung sa anomalya, may link sa palasyo, kahapon po na balita na yung Office DES na noong 2009 ay umano'y humingi daw ng campaign funds ES Lim-Napoles. Tapos po ngayon, binabanggit nyo na si Kapunan ay kakilala nyo matagal na at kasama niya sa law firm.
Sandali. Let me clarify. Partner na po if you're a lawyer, alam niyo po yung hierarchy po ng law firm. Langgam lang po ako dun sa law firm, amo na siya noon. So, hindi ko kami ganun ka-close. Nagtrabaho ako sa kanya. I'm just an ordinary associate of the law firm. So, if there's any significant relationship, I left after 3 years. But we kept in touch. Pag members ka ng law firm, kahit saan kang law firm manggaling, nagiging kaibigan mo na lahat. I've worked for 3 law firms. I can tell you the law firms that I worked in.
Opo, isa na lang po. Bakit hindi po si Napoles sumuko sa NBI? Siya po yung naghahanap nung una pumutang ang balita. NBI talaga masigasig sa paghanap kay Napoles. Bakit po sa PNP?
Ay, yun po yung instruction po ng ating Pangulo na binigay, nandun si Secretary Marojas, pinatawag po siya. And I understand, according to Attorney Kapunan, the family has some issues with NBI.
Okay,
What those issues are, hindi ko alam.
Okay, next question, Benji Liwanag of DZBB.
Sir, going back doon sa National Bureau of Investigation, yung ayaw niya nga na pumunta ron. Totoo mo ba yung bribery? O titignan pa rin ito? Paimbestigahan niyo rin ba on the NBI? Kasi may lumabas po na binabribe daw yung ilan sa mga NBI people sa paghanap, kaya ayaw din ng Napoles.
Let me check with Secretary Laila de Lima. I'm not familiar with that. I was informed also about that, but I will have to ask Secretary Laila de Lima.
Sir, i-return yung warrant ngayon
Today,
sa
yes.
Makati RTC.
Yes.
Dahil doon sa security niya, dadalhin pa rin ba si Napoles doon? Or
Ang return ng warrant, yung pagbigay ng warrant of arrest.
Yes,
So,
sir.
anong gagawin po ng kampo ni Ms. Napoles, bahala na po sila.
So, what's next?
It's up to the courts.
Ano?
The court will decide, based on their discretion, kung saan po si Ms. Napoles what do you call that? I-detain.
We're only talking about doon sa unang kaso niya. Meron pa hong kasong inihahanda yung Department of Justice.
Yan po ang aming, that's the information I received.
Will there be a meeting today with DOJ and the President regarding this matter, sir?
DOJ and the
Yes,
President.
and the President.
The DOJ, remember the DOJ is part of the IAGC. They're investigating the entire PDAF and also the Napoles. NBI has already started with its Napoles investigation. That goes on, that continues. Remember that there was a 10 million bounty. They requested for, she voluntarily surrendered, which is what now the process of reaching the truth, finding out the truth, has moved a step forward, which is important for us to know the truth behind all this.
Sir, last night, nag-usap si Presidente at si Napoles. Narinig niyo po ba? Meron po ba silang napag-usapan or any statement coming from the President?
No, the only thing that they discussed was yung request ni Attorney Kapunan, yung dahil may banta sa buhay niya, we made sure that her safety is secure. Yun lang po ang pinag-usapan. Walang pinag-usapan po kahapon on kung gagawing state witness. Wala akong pinag-usapan ganun kahapon sa meeting po. The only thing that was discussed during that voluntary surrender was the preparations that were done to ensure her safety.
Nagdalawang isip po ba ang Pangulo nang sabihin sa kanya gustong sumuko si Napoles?
Ang sinabi lang niya, nung una kong beses siya pinuntahan, maraming leads. Ito ba ay talagang lead? Dahil maraming tayong natatanggap na info tungkol kay Ginang Napoles. So, ang utos lang po sa akin ng Pangulo, ito ba ay will this lead to something? So, make sure na kung merong further developments, to let me know. That's the reason why nung alas 4:06 ng hapon, tumawag sa akin si Attorney Kapunan upang sabihin na gusto na mag-voluntary surrender ni Ginang Napoles. Bumalik po ako kay Presidente at i-inform siya kanya ang final decision po ng pamilyang Napoles.
Paano po natin masasabi masasagot yung mga tanong ng mga tao? Sinasabi nila, moro-moro lang daw to, tinatago na raw si Napoles sa Malacañang, pero may senaryo na ho kayong sinabi kanina. How can you tell the people on this matter, Attorney?
What moro-moro?
Yung nandito na raw si Napoles, ganon.
Nandito sa palasyo?
Opo, nandito.
Ngayon?
No, prior nung sumuko.
Okay. I can tell you, wala ho siya bago siya sumuko dahil ako ang nakipag-usap kay Attorney Kapunan at ako po ang nakipag-meet sa kanya at pumunta kami sa isang lugar na kung saan pumunta rin eventually si Ginang Napoles. Hindi ko alam kung saan siya. In fact, we were waiting for some time. 8:06 kami nandoon. Naghintay po kami ng almost 1 hour bago siya dumating.
Sir, magkasama kayo ni Napoles sakyan. Nasabi niya ba sa inyo kung saan siya nagtago?
Hindi.
Nasabi niya rin po ba na may handler siya?
Hindi.
Hindi niyo natanong,
What's a
sir.
handler?
Handler
yung humahawak, kumakanlong.
Nag-asikaso.
Umaasikaso
Nagtago sa kanya.
Si Attorney Kapunan ang kausap ko, so I don't know. Ang kausap namin so I don't know these details.
Along the way, going to Camp Crame from Malacañang, may mga napag-usapan ho ba kayo ni Janet Lim-Napoles?
Ay, nag-ano kami, she talked about her past. Apparently, I didn't realize that she is part Chinese.
Okay.
So, we asked about her, ano yung Chinese yan. So, we talk a bit about Chinese, nag-usap kami. Turns out, may Visayan accent yung kanyang Fukienese. Hindi tulad namin ni Willard na Manila ang accent namin.
So, may importante ho kayo na pag-usapan?
Wala kami mahalagang pinag-usapan. Nagpapasalamat po siya dahil lang sa tungkol sa kanyang safety. Na-arrange po ang kanyang safety.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Pakiusap lang sa ating mga kasamahan. Ang haba na po ng mga reporters na magtatanong. Kung pwede po, 1 question, 1 follow-up, or 2 follow-ups. Thank you. Bombo Raymond Tinasa.
Sir, strictly 3 questions. Sir, unang-una, kasi parang pakilina yung nangyaring special arrangement. Pagdating po sa Heritage, may kasama kaming pulis.
Escorts.
Yeah.
Kailangan. Kasi nga, we were about the threats to her life.
Ang tanong talaga ay, bakit right there and then, hindi inaresto suspected criminal, she's a fugitive? Kasi, di ba nandun na yun yung suspect bakit kailangan pang, nagkahiyaan ba?
Alam mo, may nag-voluntary surrender kasama ito sa pag-uusap. Gusto niya mag-surrender sa Pangulo. Masabi ko lang, hindi ito ang unang beses po na may mga taong puganteng nagsusurrender sa Pangulo. Nung panahon po ni Pangulong Quezon, just to give you a background, there was a Tayabas bandit na pangalan Nicolas Encollado ay sumuko rin kay Pangulong Quezon. Okay. Tapos may isa pang bandido, si Teodoro Asidilio, na sumuko rin sa Malacañang kay Pangulong Quezon. So hindi po ito, masasabi ko po yung mga bagay-bagay. In fact, ang ama ng ating presidente, si Noy Aquino, ay nag-negotiate sa surrender po ni Luis Tarok. At dapat siya ang nagdala, ang ama ni Pangulong Aquino ay nagdala supposedly brought Mr. Tarok directly to President Magsaysay on the presidential yacht. So, instances, this is not the first time it happened.
Sir, una, hindi pinasasan, dumaan pa sa red carpet, tapos direkto sa holding area. So, hindi ba VIP yun? Bakit hindi sa detention cell ng PNP?
Kinapkapan po they were frisked. Okay, they were frisked. This is part of the voluntary surrender that they requested. We wanted to make sure that she was safe. Rather than if you don't do anything, if you don't take up this lead, what will you say? What you will tell us? Hindi naman natin nahuli. So, we are doing the best to further bring us closer to the truth. That's the important thing. And the President also wanted to make sure at least nakuha na natin, we can bring her to court. Tuloy ang kaso doon sa kaso niya ngayon at tuloy po ang mga ibang kaso kung sakaling sasampahan kay Ginang Napoles.
Sir, dahil po kayo mismo nangiwala, ang Pangulo Aquino nangiwala sa threat. So siguro nabanggit niya kung sino yung taong, kung saan ang galing yung threat. Kaya tayo, sa inyo sa Malacañang, ay nangiwala na may totoong threat kasi karaniwan excuse either threat or may sakit. So,
kung sakaling hindi namin aktuhan po yung banta at may nangyari sa kanya, at sinabi sa amin may banta, at di kami kumilos, anong sasabihin ng publiko? Di ba? Di ba mas mabuti na we receive her person, we make sure that she is safe, and then the process of moving towards the truth will start. Di ba? We're all after Miss Napoles. Everybody was so outraged. She has become a symbol of what we were so angry at last Monday. And by bringing her to us, by bringing her and surfacing and voluntarily surrendering to the President, now the process of finding the truth can begin in earnest. Wala na yung isang side, lahat kausapin na. Di ba? And let it come out. Yan po ang ating pakay. Yan po ang pakay ng ating Pangulo. Tumakbo na yung katotohanan at least nandiyan na po si Ginang Napoles.
sir, last point. So sinabi niyo dun sa may holding area parang na-freeze. So,
Hindi, dito.
Dito, na-freeze
Sa
na.
palasyo. Na-freeze na in fact,
Demand sa security.
sino yun? Si Ginny Napoles, Miss Janet Napoles, hoodie ba tawag doon? Hoodie. Nagtanggal siya. Siya ay, anong tawag doon?
Furnace.
Kinapkapan.
Kinapkapan.
Pati yung kasamahan, may dalang mga gamit, kinapkapan lahat. Dinaan.
Pinag-snacks ba sa Malacañang?
Ako, gutom ako hindi pa ako kumakain nun eh. So, kumain lang ako ng konti. Hindi sila kumain.
Thank you. Nell of UNTV.
Sir, regarding po dun sa threat, meron po ba siyang binigay na detalye o na pinaghihinalaan na politiko?
Sinabi po ni Secretary Marujas na rin kahapon, walang sinabing mga threats. Pero ang sabi sa akin ni Attorney Kapunan, may mga banta sa kanyang sa buhay ni Ginang Napoles.
Sir, kung wala po napag-usapang maging state witness siya, wala po bang plano na i-recommend ng palas na gawin siyang state
Walang
witness?
ganun pag-uusap kahapon. Hindi kami nag-usap tungkol sa anong mangyayari sa kaso niya. Ang tanging pakay lamang kagabi ay yung kanyang seguridad. Dahil siya ay nag-voluntary, so we wanted to make sure she was safe. That was the request of Attorney Kapunan. So, yun po ay ginawa naman natin. Ginawa po ni Pangulo Aquino. He told Secretary Marujas to operationalize the safety of and the detention of Miss Janet Napoles.
Thank you po.
Ori Kalika of Philippine Star.
Sir, can Janet Napoles appear before the Senate during the investigation of the pork barrel scam?
That is an answer that you would leave to, number one, the courts. She's under the jurisdiction of the courts. Number two, that's up to the Senate.
Sir, sinabi mo nga it's better na she's safe because dead men tell no tales. But the way you're narrating it, iniisip siguro ng mga tao how come it's so easy and maybe...
It wasn't easy. Let me tell you, it was we didn't even know, I didn't even know whether it was going to push through. Like, the President was concerned, ito ba mangyayari hindi? Because we have received so many leads on the whereabouts of Miss Janet Napoles. A number of leads. So this was also considered as one of those, will this move on? Will this lead to fruitful? So those were the same concerns the President had. And he instructed me, well, you come back to me when it's more or less, there's a certainty to what you have informed me. That's the thing. It happened in 12:37. It took some time for the Attorney Kapunan to revert back to me.
So, paano nyo i-disabuse yung minds ng ilang mga cynics or ilang mga kritiko na all the while witness nyo naman talaga si Janet Napoles, and maybe if you're holding her, yung mga pwede niyang masabi ay against lamang sa mga kalaban ninyo
I
sa
don't
politika.
even know what I'm not aware of what she knows. We didn't even discuss that. So, what is undeniable is that she is wanted, and she is a key to finding out the truth, and that's the most important thing.
So it's better that she's with you than any other political figure at this time?
This is the state. You have to by the PNP or by any police enforcement official. So this is where we are going to do. This is the commitment of the state to secure her safety.
JV Arsena of Radyo 5.
Sir, curious lang kami dito sa pangangatawan ni Janet Lim-Napoles kagabi. Kasi walang lumalabas na video kung ano ba yung pagmumukha niya, kung totoo ba yung report na nagparetoke na raw siya, nangangayat na ba siya, kung ano yung kondisyon ni Janet Lim-Napoles kagabi.
Okay. Ang masasabi ko, hindi siya kamukha ni Lorna Kapunan. Hindi po nagbago. I saw the picture of Inquirer today. It's still the same picture.
Sir, follow-up lang. Doon kanina, i-follow ko lang yung question ni Bomboy. Hindi niyo nasagot yung, kung wala, pinagdidiinan niyo na walang special treatment na ibinibigay dito kay Janet Lim-Napoles. Pero, paano niyo ipapaliwanag? Kasi marami pang nagtataas ng kilay dito sa unang-una, na parang special treatment na rin po kung ikaw ay isang akusado, isa kang fugitive. Ikinulong ka lamang dyan sa Campo Crame, isang special treatment na raw. At ang mas nakakapagtaas pa raw nakakapagduda raw po dito, Secretary,
Yes.
yung paglagay sa kanya sa isang vacant room lamang at hindi isang detention cell.
Well, yun po yung for the arrangements last night. So, hindi po natin alam kung ano magiging arrangement today. Yung sinasabi po ninyo, masabi ko lang po, natanong ni Bombo, natanong ni JV, at nasabi ko na rin po, hindi po itong unang beses na ang Pangulo ay tumatanggap ng mga nag-surrender sa kanila. And let me just say that the President is an honorable man. It's in our culture that the fugitive who throws himself at the mercy of the highest official, the President is honor-bound to secure and receive the fugitive.
So, sir,
This is not the first time it happened. We'll give you the details of other administrations where the President has received a fugitive.
So, sir, in case na meron po mga fugitive na suspect o akusado sa mga heinous crime na susulpot o Pangulong Noynoy Aquino, kailangan po ba sa isang vacant room din sila ilalagay?
JV, it is on a case-to-case basis. I think you're trying to trap us to saying something, but it's a case-to-case basis. Let's not go that way.
Sir, last question na lang po. Nabanggit po ni Secretary Rojas na the whole time daw po, nasa Metro Manila lang po itong si Janet Lim-Napoles. Kagabi nabanggit niya po.
Kausap ko si Attorney Kapunan dahil na-secure po natin kagabi. In fact, I asked her, I assume that your client is in Metro Manila. And she said, as far as I know, yes.
So, sir, anong full effort? Anong klaseng full effort yung ginagawa po ng mga otoridad? Kung nasa Metro Manila lang po itong hindi kayo nagpo-programa. Anong klaseng full effort po itong ginawa po ng mga otoridad, sir, dito po sa paghuhuli o pagtugis kay Janet Lim-Napoles?
You would have to ask, I'm not a PNP official or an NBI agent, so you would have to ask the appropriate agencies for that. But all I know is that tracker teams were sent out to hunt Miss Janet.
So we have a phone-in question from Junlin Coran of DZMM. Ang basis daw ng detention palang po ni Napoles ay sa illegal detention case. Gaano na po ka-close ang findings para maisampa naman ang kaso na may kaugnayan sa pork barrel scam against Napoles? Kasi posible daw pa rin siyang makapag-bail sa illegal detention case, depende sa pagtimbang ng hukuman. Tanong po ni Junlin Coran, phone-in.
Paano ulit?
Allah.
Oh,
Oo.
the investigation, wait, that's nagsabi na yata, I don't know if nagsalita na si Secretary Laila de Lima. Sabi niya 2 weeks, hopefully it can be earlier, but sinabi po niya 2 weeks. So let's wait for that.
Thank you. Kimberly Tan of GMA News Online.
Sir, sorry, alam ko pa ulit-ulit po, pero so definitely there was no other deal or request from Napoles, Mrs. Napoles' camp, aside from the security.
Yes, it's only that to secure her safety.
Tsaka sir, may sinabi po ba sila about her brother, if he's going to surrender din?
After Hana. Ina. Hana.
Parang may ganun yata. So, parang, I think, if I remember it right, Ms. Napoles said, hopefully the brother will also surrender.
So sir, hindi pa rin sure po. So yung bounty po for Mrs. Napoles, would it extend to the brother since he's still at large?
It's at large, so the bounty exists, no? For the brother.
10 million din ba, sir?
5 million.
Joel Ginto, Mr. Bloomberg.
Sir, what's next for Ms. Napoles, and in exchange for the President ensuring her security, what does the President expect Napoles to do?
Now that she has been, she has surfaced, it's now good that the investigation can move forward, and investigation with her presence. So, tuloy po yung mga kaso, kung ano pong kasong sasampahan po, haharapin po ng kampo nila Ginang Napoles yun.
Sir, you mentioned that the investigation will continue in her presence. Do we expect Ms. Napoles to say who are the officials that are involved in this?
We never discussed that, Joel. Yesterday, we never discussed any merits of whatever case or this PDAF.
So did the President secure a commitment from Ms. Napoles that she will cooperate in investigations on the alleged misuse?
From Attorney Kapunan. We got that from Attorney Kapunan.
Sir, and what was the exact assurances from Attorney Kapunan?
That she will cooperate in the investigation and she will defend her client. That's the statement she told me, not in the presence of the President while we were discussing this.
Sir, did Ms. Napoles elaborate on the nature of the threats? Did she say whether these were coming from the politicians?
No elaboration on the nature of the threats.
Jeneline Kabiling of Manila Bulletin.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, sir. Sir, could you give more details about the President's 10-minute meeting with Napoles? Was she handcuffed during the exchange?
No, she wasn't handcuffed. She voluntarily surrendered. That's part of, I think that's being, the important thing here is that she has now been secured. She has now been detained. She has gone through the regular booking as any fugitive. So, because of she's involved in this massive scale of anomaly, we have to make sure that her presence was secured.
Sir, can you describe the President's reaction during the meeting? Was
I just
he
don't-
relieved?
I
Was
just-
he relieved during when?
Like I said, the President is already, he wants also the truth to come out. And we're now closer to the truth, hopefully with her coming out and with her, hopefully whatever testimony she has, it will be able to, well, number one, the President really views this matter seriously. There's no question on that. That's why I have to raise it before the President. Number two, everybody's been looking for Janet Napoles. In fact, how the President views this very seriously was the fact that he raised a 10 million bounty. He offered a 10 million bounty. So that shows the gravity of this wanting to find Ms. Napoles. So, now that he's present, now that she has been secured, she has been detained, the case should move forward.
Sir, did she admit anything to the president?
It was all about, it's mostly Attorney Lorna Capuna was speaking for Napoles.
Sir, last, is the government still interested in running after the big fishes? Because it looks like Napoles is just a small fry.
No, wait, don't preempt. My request to the press is don't preempt this government. The president has already said, where the evidence leads, we will go there. So please don't preempt our administration. The investigations are ongoing, and once charges are filed, you will know.
Okay, Jen? Joyce Pañares of Manila Standard.
Sir, you said that receiving fugitives by the president was on a case-to-case basis. In particular, what's so special about Napoles that this was allowed?
Joyce, you saw the outrage in Manila.
I mean, precisely, because there was outrage and then this was the way she was treated. Kaya meron ding outrage ngayon, sir. If you read Facebook, you read Twitter, I'm sure you'll be able to monitor that our public, may mga ilang sector din na outrage with the way she was treated. So can you explain to them anong meron kay Napoles? Bakit pumayag na gano'n na parang ang perception was, it was, although you denied it, ang perception was it was a special treatment extended to her. And sa propriety po, nung pagsalubong ni Presidente sa kanya, and paghatid pa po sa krame. In fact, parang lead car pa si Presidente kasi nauna siya to sweep krame for her.
Una-una, let me emphasize that there's a history of presidents receiving a surrendering fugitive. This is not the first time, and we will list to you the instances where where a sitting president has received a fugitive. Number two, given the situation right now, the very controversial situation and the very explosive situation where Ms. Napoles finds herself in, being in the center of all this outrage. And considering that there were, according to their camp, there were serious threats on her life. In the words of Attorney Capunan, there are those who intend to silence her permanently. The only person that they can trust is our president. And that Ms. Napoles be surrendered to the president. And this being not the first time, it has happened time and again where a sitting president has received a surrendering fugitive. This is not extraordinary.
Sir, dalawang questions na lang. Yung isa po, follow-up dun sa sinabi ni Jenaline, can you recall for us kung ano yung sinabi verbatim ni Presidente during the 10 minutes na nag-usap sila?
Hindi ko na
ano yung una niyang sinabi? Did he say, good evening? Did he say, how are you? Na-check up ka na ba ng doktor? Paano po ba niya ni-receive si Napoles? At yung ikalawa, because you've been mentioning yung threat to her life and you said pa nga na there was intent to silence her permanently.
Sabi ni Attorney Capunan.
Sabi ni Attorney Capunan, I'm sorry. How would this impact on her detention? Would this figure kung saan siya i-detain dahil mga merong threat sa life niya?
That will be...
Nag-handshake daw po ba sila, sabi ni Wheeler?
I don't recall. That will depend on the discretion of the... that will depend of the court. Remember, in-return yung warrant ngayong umaga. So, it is now within the court's prerogative to say where she will be detained. Di ba? Masabi ko lang, Joyce, sinabi na rin ito kahapon ni Secretary Maro kasi pag hindi namin siya nahuli, galit ang gobyerno sa amin. Pag hinuli namin siya, pag nag-voluntary surrender, which is better than hahabulin. Kusang nag-surrender na, kusang sumuko na. Nahawak na natin. Galit pa rin ang tao sa atin. Pero nangyayari po ito, hindi nangyayari na po sa ilang mga presidenteng nakaraan na nangyayari po ito. So, we don't do something, we're down by some sectors, we do something to protect and to ensure that now the truth can move forward. We're still down, but we will still do the right thing. The president has chosen to do the right thing in this case to ensure that the truth now can move forward.
Ano daw po ang sinabi?
Ang sinabi ni Presidente, Yung sa, I've instructed PNP chief to ensure the safety, yun ang mga sinabi niya. It's about kay Attorney Kapunan. Kasi yun po talaga ang hiling ng kampong Napoles.
Eileen Taliping of DWIZ.
Good morning, sir. Nabanggit niyo yung safety and security na issue doon sa pagsuko ni Lim-Napoles. Kanina ba siya takot? Ano ba ang kinatatakot niya sa NBI, sa mga taong galit sa kanya, o yung outreach ng tao, o yung mga taong gobyerno?
Wala siyang sinabi kung saan ang banta. Pero given the situation where she has been identified as a key to all this controversy, I think any fair-minded, level-headed individual can draw some conclusions. But if you ask me, kung may nasabi siya saan ang banta nang gagaling, wala po siyang sinabi.
Sa tingin niyo po, meron talaga siyang itinatago? Bakit siya natatakot?
May banta sa buhay niya. Kung ano yung tinatago niya, hindi po natin alam until she testifies and gives her side.
Thank you, sir.
Celerina Monte.
Oh, hindi to peace process.
Okay, sir. Ikaw, yung pamana. Anyway. Sir, kasi according to Secretary Rojas, Lim-Napoles was in Metro Manila during the time that she was hiding. So, does that show how incompetent our intelligence agencies are?
I cannot make a judgment on that. Anybody who wants to hide will try all her resources to hide. And she's not exactly a woman of ill resources.
Or could it be possible that somebody or somebody is cuddling her or cuddled her?
We're going to the realm of speculation, which I'm not about to step into.
Sir, how do you think the testimony of Lim-Napoles would contribute into this investigation on pork barrel?
We will see. Like I said, we never discussed what she knows, so I myself don't know. So we will see what she knows. In the meantime, the investigation continues. The investigation by the DOJ, the NBI, and the IAGC will continue.
Do you think there is any reason for lawmakers have been dragged into the issue na kabahan because of Lim-Napoles surrender?
I don't want to speculate.
Hannah of Sunshine Radio.
Ikaw na tumawa, sir. Reaction niyo, sir, doon sa statement po ng Anak Bayan and other militant groups na scripted lang po. Oh, sir, nag-reply na kayo, sir. Scripted po doon sa pagsuko ni Lim-Napoles. And sinasabi po nila, ano pong assurance po na may bibigay niyo sa public na there's no such thing na mayroon na pong deal si Lim-Napoles at Pangulo na poprotektahan ni Lim-Napoles sa kanyang testimony ang mga kaalyado ng Pangulo?
Sabi na Anak Bayan yung Lunes, Abi.
Pati kay MU din, sir.
Sabi nung Lunes, sabi na Anak Bayan, hulihin si Lim-Napoles. Nung nag-surrender na si Lim-Napoles, scripted ang huli. I mean, make up your mind, Anak Bayan, and be a little bit smarter than what you have stated.
Meron din silang sinabi, sir, na baka magkaroon din ng whitewash dun sa evidence that poprotektahan po ni Lim-Napoles ang mga kaalyado ng Pangulo.
Alam namin na ang gagawin ng gobyerno. We're pursuing the investigation.
Inan Dalong of Solar News.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you've been reiterating that this has happened or this has been done by previous
I can give you
other
the list of the presidents from Quezon
but for this
to
administration,
Quirino.
sir. Sir, for the Aquino administration, don't you think that this idea of accepting fugitives who voluntarily surrender, facing them or letting them face the president, doesn't this then mean the office of the president, sir?
The office of the president has been occupied by a number of past presidents, and I just gave you the list of presidents who have done so. So does it mean the office of the president? President Quezon has done it. President Quirino has done it. Did it demean the office at that point? No. People were very happy that this thing they surrendered, and I think we should be happy that Mr. Lim-Napoles has chosen to surrender, and that we can now move forward. Any cases, any investigation that are pending or are happening right now.
Sir, and the alleged threats to her life, or tinanggap na lang po ba ng ganun-ganun yun? I mean, didn't it need to go through some sort of verification? Because, I mean, there are other high-profile fugitives who are still missing and can come out now and say that there are also threats to their lives. Ganun din po ba ang ibibigay?
You know, when I was studying AIM, I have a professor called Gabi Mendoza, the late Gabi Mendoza, who really taught us the Socratic method. And he always told us, what you're saying is 2020 hindsight. That's hindsight, Ina. That's hindsight. We don't know what's going to happen. If suppose we had that lead, Attorney Kapunan told me they're willing to surrender, and then I said, ay, di pwede kasi madidimi ng office ng president eh. Hayaan lang. And then something happens, Ina. What do you think? And then Attorney Lorna Kapunan will come and say, we told the office of president we are willing to surrender. And then once it comes out, and the media gets that, and will they say, anong ginawa ng pamahalaan? Ba't hindi ang kanyang safety? That's 2020 hindsight. Ina, that question is really showing that because this thing has already happened. But the fact is, we've decided, the president has chosen this course of action to make sure that the case will move forward.
Sir, last na lang, you mentioned kanina that she was also given a health check. Ano po yung naging resulta nun? Kasi baka magkundaming po.
There was a standard po yun sa booking to check your health, no? But on the way to the palace, sabi niya, medyo nagpapalpitate siya. So we called up the doctor, and then yung doctor dito pina-check, normal naman, okay naman.
Sir, sorry, but I just want to take this opportunity na baka makakapag-release ba kayo ng photo or videos on what actually happened?
We'll ask Secretary Marfil has hawak niya yung photo bureau, ang tawag doon? We'll ask him.
Thank you, sir.
Chris Jose.
Sir, sabi ni Kabataan Party List Representative Ridon, hindi pong pag-surrender ni Napoles ay Ridon po. Representative Ridon.
Makabayan?
Yes, sir. Kabataan Party List.
Makabayan Black, di ba?
Kabataan, sir.
Makabayan Black ang
Sir, yun daw pong pagsuko ni Napoles, mekanismo lang daw po yun ng Malacañang para daw po ma-diffuse yung calls to abolish the presidential court. Yung daw pong pagsuko ni Napoles ay para daw po i-diffuse lang po yung calls na i-abolish yung presidential court.
Di ba doon sa Lunes, di ba nandun siya? Di ba ang isa sa mga panawagan din, hulihin si Napoles? Yun din ang panawagan ng Makabayan Black. Tapos nahuli na ngayon, iba na naman kinakanta nila. Talagang ang Makabayan Black, wala nang ginawa kundi criticize ang government. But we will do the right thing. Wala kang pakialam sa sinasabi nila.
Sir, hindi ba natatakot o nangangamba ang Malacañang na sa September 11 kasi may part 2 yung Million People March? Hindi ba natatakot ang Malacañang na ang ipanawagan naman this time ay ibababa na sa dahil doon sa sinasabi nilang VIP treatment kay Napoles?
This is a fight against corruption. Ang mga pumunta noong Luneta ay pumunta doon, nagmarcha dahil galit sila sa corruption. Ito po ang pagdakip kay Ginang Napoles is one step forward in further resolving this situation and further finding out the truth. So, are we bothered? These are people who are now with us, allies, our allies now in the fight against corruption. So why would we be bothered? And that's, I'm sure that's a statement of the very few.
Sir, last point na lang po, saan po tinanggap si Ms. Napoles? Sa bahay pangarap po ba or dito sa opisina ng Pangulo?
Hindi, doon sa, on the way to the President's Hall, yung sitting area.
Thank you, sir.
Receiving.
Receiving. Next question from Royce Sibal of TV5. Yung inuupuan nyo doon.
Sir, I know na-clarify nyo na kanina na walang pinag-usapan about pagiging state witness or possibility na pagiging state witness ni Janet Napoles.
Pero sir, bilisan nyo, baka nandito na sa
earlier interview with Secretary Mar Rojas, he mentioned na nung nag-usap o kasama doon sa pinag-usapan nila Pangulo and Napoles, yung paghikayat sa kanya ni Pinoy to tell everything na alam niya. So, ibig sabihin, sir, ngayon pa lang, parang kinoconsider na talaga siya ng Pangulo. Kasi, remember yesterday, when the President was asked kung open siya doon sa pagiging state witness, he mentioned na pag-aaralan niya, pero may warrant of arrest. Pero now na sumurrender na si Napoles, ibig sabihin, sir, open na yung Pangulo. Dahil siya na mismo yung naghikayat.
Kahapon na nangyari yun, yung pag-aaral will only happen when we know the testimony of Ms. Napoles, which has not been given at this point in time. So we cannot make a judgment as to whether he can be used as a state witness. And also, by the way, let me just stress that the fact of one becoming a state witness is with the prosecution. It depends now on who will handle the case. If it's with the ombudsman, it's the ombudsman who will determine whether he can be a state witness. So that's within our prerogative. It's within the body that will be prosecuting the case.
And also, sir, siguro yung galit din or yung emosyon na nakukuha natin sa mga tao, especially sa social media, parang overkill or sobra-sobra naman daw yung concern and yung security na pin-provide for Napoles.
Sinagot ko na yan, Royces, eh. It's all 2020 hindsight. If you look at it, it's all 2020 hindsight. Nangyari na yan, it happened. And now you're in a position to judge because it happened. If it did not happen, you are in a position to say, this government is incompetent. It cannot arrest a person. So now that we've done it, you're now, these people in online who doesn't have a sense of the gravity of the situation, where the most important thing is to get a key witness, a key personality in this whole situation who will be testifying and who will also be part of an investigation, who is a possible accused in an investigation, has now come forward. Everybody's been crying blood, and one of the things that they've been crying blood for the longest time is Janet Napoles. Now we have secured her, and that's the important thing. We can now.
Thank you, Royces. Weng de la Fuente of Net 25.
Morning, sir. Sir, where do we factor in Secretary De Lima? Kasi, di ba, she's the one pursuing the case. And then,
are you concerned with your alter ego?
Hindi. Concerned lang ako kasi she's pursuing the case, the NBI is pursuing the case. And then kagabi, parang walang picture ang DOJ, ang NBI.
She was informed. She was informed.
Okay. Sir, patanong lang, is it part of your job to make these arrangements po?
It's part of my judge to be used wherever I'm useful. I was part of the peace process. So wherever I'm placed, I was with, the President will use me wherever I am useful.
So, pero sir, is it the request to surrender to the President mismo talaga?
Yes.
Hindi ho sa ibang agency, law
Yes.
enforcement agency?
That's correct.
Okay. Sir, kanina you've mentioned this is practice even before. But previously, yung mga sumusurrender na mga fugitives sa presidente involves in ideological or political, not criminal case like this.
That's correct. In fact, if you remember, we met with Chairman Murad of MILF. This is, the President met with him. Also, by the way, that was the same question. Did it not demean the office of the President when he met with Chairman Murad? It's always the same question. If a President decides to meet with somebody and it will further whatever the purpose is, it's always, yan ang tanong, bakit nga pala nadidimin ang office ng Presidente kung ginagawa ng Pangulo ay tama at wasto para sa bayan?
Pero those fugitives are political fugitives, not kasi di ba sir, pag kasi kaya may outrage ngayon kasi parang people cannot just believe na sa presidente po siya kailangang sumuko.
Well, hindi ho kami ang nagsabi, sa presidente, we suggest that you surrender to the president. Hindi po kami ang nagsuggest niyan po. So this is not our way of sinasabi ng may nagtanong diffusing the situation. It's not. It's the request of the camp of Ms. Janet Napoles. That's why that request was made.
Okay. So, sir, one last point. You said the President wants Napoles to tell the truth. Ano yung truth na ina-expect natin sa kanya? Is the administration ready to take if she mentions involvement of allies?
We don't know, number one, we don't know what her testimony will be. And as always, the guiding principle of this administration, of the President to the investigating agencies, is to go where the evidence leads us. Oh, hi Myla, you're here.
Deo de Guzman of RNN.
Deo.
Morning, sir.
Tere.
Sir, sumuko po kahapon yan si Janet Napoles. Hindi po ba parang meron pong sentiment ang tao na yung ginastos ng government doon sa Intel funds kasi parang inefficient yung NBI sa paghahanap. Imagine, ilang tracker teams yung naghanap sa kanila, sa kay Janet Napoles, and nasa Metro Manila lang siya. Ano pong masasabi niyo dun sa...
There are two perspectives to this. Either you're looking at the trees or you're looking at the forest. You're looking at the trees right now. You're talking about what a waste of time. But the point is, what is our purpose here? What was the standing order against Ms. Janet Napoles? To secure her, to arrest her. She decided to voluntarily surrender. Shouldn't we be happy? May nagastos nga, wala tayong magagawa ron. But there's a continuous po ang trabaho ng ating mga intel agencies sa pagtugi sa kanya. But she decided to surrender. We don't know why, because maybe the fear was really imminent. We don't know. But maybe we should look at the result, because otherwise, everything that you're saying, everything that you're asking is hindsight 2020 yan eh. You're in the position to say primarily because we already did the right thing. And now you're, not to be personal, but you're looking at ways to question the decision taken by, for instance, by the Napoles or by the President. But this is the thing that will move this case forward. So, and that's the most important thing for us.
Related to that, sir, parang ang lumalabas, hihintayin niyo na lang din po bang sumuko yung iba pang mga pinaghahanap ng batas, like the Reyes brothers?
Again, that's hindsight 2020. I can answer you. So you're now saying let's not waste Intel funds to track them. You know, it's like, if I say this, I'm dumb. If I say that, I'm dumb. We're doing everything we can. We continue to track those fugitives. That's the thing that we can say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Deo. Wait. Myla Hair.
Hi, Myla.
Hi, sir. Sir, short lang eh. I just want to get yung categorical answer from the parents. So, yung wala sir special treatment?
Yes. Yes, Myla. Yes.
Yes, there's no...
There's no special Your question is, there's no special treatment, yes, and my answer is yes.
So, to the question din po na walang moro-moro?
Yes, there's no moro. By the way, don't say moro-moro. It's insulting to our Muslim brothers.
Sir, just parang clarification lang, sir. Doon sa issue, sir, na hindi naka-handcuff, practice din po ba yun? Kapag voluntary yung pag-surrender, talagang hindi hina-handcuff yung fugitive?
Well, we can ask our historian, Yusek Quezon, about that. But all I'm saying is, this is not the first time it has happened, Myla. We'll give to Marie the instances where a fugitive has surrendered to a sitting president.
Tsaka clarification lang, sir. Is that parang matter of life and death po ba na kailangang sunduin siya sa kung nasan man siya? Kung talaga magsusurrender siya, why don't parang dumiretso na kay President? Na dumiretso dito sa Malacañang. Matter of life or death po ba na ang pag-travel niya from Heritage Park to the palace?
There was a threat into her life. We wanted to make sure that she was secured. That was also the request of Attorney Kapunan. So we wanted to make sure that she will be secured. So we did the best. We did the most prudent thing that we should do.
Okay, Myla. Willard Cheng of ABS-CBN.
Lahat, tanghali tayo. Baka dumating si Vance, bilisan nyo.
Nice, sir. Sir, let me just get some details of the stage where you were on your way to meet Attorney Kapunan and Ms. Napoles.
Yes.
how many security men were with you? Ano po yung armas na dala nila? At ilan po yung sasakyan ng bahagi ng convoy ninyo?
Alam ko mga dalawa yata. I just wrote on the, what do you call that, the primary vehicle. That's what they say.
2 vehicles?
No, parang dalawa yata eh. I don't recall eh. Kasi madilim. Umupo na lang ako doon eh.
2 security vehicles, sir. 2 security vehicles.
Security vehicle was about one security vehicle. But may mga escorts doon. I don't know I'm not, gabi yun eh. So hindi ko alam kung nasaan yung mga armas nila.
Okay. Sir, did you feel any tension about your safety or fears that the whole procedure or effort would be sabotaged?
Ako, well, there was a concern kung matutuloy. Kasi nga, I spoke to Lorna around around 4 plus eh. Then nag-usap kami and I spoke to the president to inform him na tuloy na po yan. And so matagal pa bago bumalik sa akin si Attorney Kapunan. So there's concern matutuloy ba to? Tapos the discussions on saan kami magkikita and all that. So there were concerns. That's why the president also made sure to instructed Secretary Marroas to provide this thing with escorts kasi PNPC, DILGC Secretary Marroas. So the president was concerned for my safety. So that's why we were asking, we had to inform the president, nasaan na ako, through,
Sir, hindi ba kayo natakot na sa sementeryo kayo dinala para tagpuin na si Lim-Napoles?
The benefit of it was, I didn't know where that place was. Hindi ako taga ron eh. So sinabi heritage, punta tayo heritage, sabi ng driver, alam niya. So hindi ko alam kung ano yun eh. So, hindi ko pala alam sementeryo pala yun.
Pero sir, pagdating nyo madilim ho, hindi ho kayo natakot during the whole period?
We had to go to a dark place para nobody will be able to commit threats following si Miss Napoles. She was in a naka-hoodie siya. She was in a hoodie. Though I was not afraid because it was, and then when I learned it was a secretary, it was nothing to me.
Thank you, sir.
Jessica Duco of IBC 13.
Si Myla.
Yes, Jess. Walang mic si Jess.
Yes.
Any possibility na i-reach out din ng palas?
So any na i-reach out din ng palas yung other fugitives or to reach out the camp of Reyes, Palparan?
Wala kaming well, first things first. Tracker teams are all are trying to locate them. So that is ongoing. Whether they want to surrender to the state, it's their call. In the same manner that this was the call of the camp of Attorney Napoles. Of the camp of the Napoles family.
Sir, last, is there any consideration to increase the bounty for Palparan and other fugitives?
I have not, we have not discussed that.
Vic Sumintak of DZEC.
Secretary, magandang umaga po. Una po, point of clarification lang on procedural matter. Si Napoles po ay naging fugitive sa bisa ng arrest warrant na inisyu po ng hukuman.
That's correct.
Bakit po hindi siya kinimit doon bagkos siya po ay kinimit sa PNP?
Dahil po pasado alas 5 na po yun. Wala nang office. There's no courts anymore.
Okay. Another point, sir. Before ba na i-announce ni Presidente yung bounty money na 10 million pesos, alam na ba ni Presidente na magsusurrender kinagabihan si Napoles?
Hindi, dahil sa akin dinaan yung kwento. In fact, nabigla nga siya doon sa sinabi ko.
May report na lumabas, Secretary, na si Cardinal Tagle ang dinaanan ng procedure. Naitanong na ba yun?
Hindi pa.
Dinaanan ng surrender tiller ni Napoles. Siya po ba ay nakipag-ugnayan? Si Cardinal Tagle po ba nakipag-ugnayan sa palasyo para doon sa surrender ni Napoles?
Wala po, sa akin nakipag-usap si Attorney Capuna.
Okay, one last point, Secretary. Karaniwang suspect pagka nahuli o nasa poder ng otoridad, pre-present sa media. Si Napoles po ba ay i-present sa media gaya ng ginagawa sa mga ordinaryong kriminal? Kung i-present, kailan at saan?
Alam kung ipipresent right now, ang request po nila to secure her, no, not privacy, but to secure her safety. So yun po ang ginagawa. At lalabas din naman po siya dahil may kaso po siya. So she will be attending the hearings. So you'll see her.
Hindi kaya kung hindi niyo i-present, lalong mabuo sa isipan ng tao na may special treatment po kay Miss Napoles?
Ayan pa yung papakita
Ito
ng
mga
picture.
litrato po na habang dinadaan, ito po yung pagpasok niya sa palasyo, dumaan siya sa security check. Hindi po to tinan nyo, hindi siya kamukha ni Lorna Kapunan. So, ay, ganito ba? Ito si ito si Miss Napoles. Naka-hoodie siya. Tapos, akin na, isa pa raw. Tapos ito yung asawa ni Mr. Jimmy Napoles na asawa ni Miss Janet Napoles na fini-freeze po dyan, security check po. Marami po siyang siya po ay kinapkapan po ng PSG. So, yun po. Wala kaming, wala hong litrato ho kay Presidente. Ito. Ito po yung habang kausap po namin ni Secretary Rene, habang di pa nag-uumpisa yung meeting po. At saka ito po yung receiving room doon sa President's Hall. Tama ba itong pinapakita ko sa inyo? Ayun. Tapos, I'll show you the pictures. Ito pa mga yung pagpasok po doon. Tapos isa pang kuha po na kausap ni Secretary Rene Almendras po, si Attorney Kapunan at saka si Miss Janet Napoles. You know. It's kind of there. Okay. We'll give it to email ba to? Pwede email? We'll just give you an email copy? Or you want this already? Lahat ito? Lahat ito? Okay.
Padala sa email. Kapuso, Teresa Isla.
Hi, sir. Sir, just clarificatory questions.
Claire.
I'll send you regards. Sir, how long did Mrs. Napoles stay in the palace?
Short lang, no? The meeting with the president, mga around 10 minutes yata, if I'm not mistaken. Kasi it's primarily Attorney Kapunan was talking, and then si Mar also spoke about preparations. Secretary Mar spoke about the preparations, and Chief Purisima also said something about the preparations. And the president instructed them also, this is the preparations we've made.
So the entire conversation with the President, with Secretary Mar and PNP Chief Purisima, all in all, did it take around longer than 15 minutes, 30 minutes? Then you proceeded to craft?
No, mga 10 lang yun. Actual with the President was brief. I think mga 10 minutes.
But her stay including
before that?
Yes.
Less than 30 siguro.
So mga less than an hour siyang nasa
less than an hour.
Malacañang.
Definitely less than an hour.
And sir, bakit po hindi na lang yung mga pulis na mismo yung pumunta sa palasyo to get Mrs. Napoles and bring her to Grand?
Kasama, nandun ang pulis.
No, bakit hindi na pumunta na lang dito sa Malacañang at ba't kailangan pa siyang dalhin doon? Mismo sa
hindi.
krami.
Si Chief PNP were with police escorts also. But naka-convoy kami doon sa police. Di ba? The president was not in our convoy. Siya kasama sa convoy namin. So, ang kasama po namin doon sa convoy, I was in the vehicle with Attorney Kapunan, Mr. Napoles, Mrs. Napoles, and the person kasama nila. And then the rest, mga police escorts na yun.
Kaya nga sir, bakit kinailangan pa na samahan pa siya papunta dun sa krami? Hindi ba pwedeng puntahan na siya ng mga arresting officers here in Malacañang and then bring her to krami?
We did. That's what we did.
No,
Except
but
that
without you and si
we
Presidente.
wanted to ensure. The president just wanted to make sure of the area. In fact, he went and inspected the area. May mga situation, yung security ng area. He finds this matter very seriously. That's why.
And he did not trust the PNP enough to check
No,
yung
he just
security
wants
area.
he wants to see it for himself also.
Sir, yung matter of being a state witness, you mentioned nga na depende na yan with the ombudsman or the prosecutors, but hindi inaalis yung possibility na gawin pa rin siyang state witness.
No, again, I'm not in a position because the appreciation of the testimony of a person rests on the prosecution. So how they appreciate the evidence, how they evaluate the testimony of Ms. Napoles largely would be a factor or the primary factor in whether a person can be a state witness or not.
So hindi pa rin siya categorically masasabing removed or included pa rin siya?
I cannot at this point say anything about it because she has not given any testimony.
Sir, last point, meron ng clarification. When there was a call, when you made the call to clarify with Attorney Kapunan kung willing nang mag-surrender, did she outrightly say she would like to surrender to the President already?
She said first that first of all, I asked, I just want to verify, totoo ba yung sinabi mo? Yes. Why don't you surrender? We want to surrender. Okay, we want to surrender to the president. Why the president? Because he's the only person that we trust, given the situation right now.
And did she categorically say we will surrender today?
No, because the only thing that I know is that I told her, I assume that you have a link with your client. She said, I don't have a direct link, but I can reach her. So, that's why, hindi namin alam kung matutuloy ngayon o kailan. In fact, sinabi nga sa akin ng Pangulo, that's another lead. Will that happen? So, sabi ko, sir, I will verify with Attorney Kapunan.
And during that process na meron ng verification, aware na din yung PNP, yung NBI, DOJ?
No one was, when it was decided to be a go, Secretary Maro has informed the officials without mentioning who the person was.
It was not mentioned to the PNP, the DOJ, or the NBI?
This is with respect to the detention. PNP, Secretary Maros was talking to PNP. When he was talking to the PNP, he did not refer to Ms. Napoles. He just said some person.
Why was there hesitation?
No, that's not hesitation. Not so much a hesitation, but to prevent number one, security, and number two, a leak. And that's the reason why it never came out. Nobody knew in the palace except for a very select group of people.
Even the NBI and DOJ, hindi
I'm
sila
not aware of that. I'm not aware. I was talking to the president, so.
Okay, last question now, Michael Ubak of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Good morning, sir. Sir, it's not unparalleled that the President would be receiving some suspected criminals or respondents to cases. But are we not sending the wrong message that Malacañang itself is Malacañang is opening itself to attacks or inviting criticism because of certain antecedent facts? First, there was an admission that the former law firm of the executive secretary actually helped in the execution of the counter affidavit of Napoles. Two, the firing of the PR who changed the dinner, roundtable dinner or interview between Napoles and Inquirer editors and reporters. And 3, there are reports that Napoles had actually donated huge sums of money in both in 2010 and 2013 elections to the administration party. So all of this, hindi ba ito naglalagay sa balag ng alanganin, nilalagay natin yung presidente sa balag ng alanganin because of all of this? So maybe the question is not, is the president allowed to receive those who surrender to the law? But the question is it appropriate for the president at this point, with all of these antecedent facts, to actually did what he did last night?
The factors that you mentioned are extraneous to the president personally. This does not involve the president personally. In the president's mind, what is important is that we bring the truth out, we move the case forward. Concept of surrendering to a sitting president has always, that was not something new. So whether it's appropriate, the president found it, this is the most appropriate time. There's an offer to surrender, and if we did not take on that offer, what would have been the repercussion? She would have been at large. She would have been, perhaps she would have been still at large up till now. And the case would not have moved forward, because even if you prosecute without her, the case will not move forward. You cannot arraign someone who is absent. And now that she is present, now that she has been secured, now that she has voluntarily surrendered, the case can now move forward. And any investigation against her will now move forward as well, with her given the ability to answer for, to give her day in court.
There is a report that Napoles actually said sorry to ES last night because he is being unfairly linked to this case.
Let me, I might have missed that. I don't know. I wasn't, I was going in and out.
And are we not sending the wrong message, quote unquote, that Napoles is now untouchable, with the president himself accompanying him and cabinet?
I don't know if that was the same sentiment that the people had when Luis Taruk surrendered to the president, or when Asidilo surrendered to President Quezon. Did it make Asidilo untouchable? Did it make Luis Taruk untouchable? Case will move forward. She will be prosecuted according to what evidence we have right now.
Question lang ng mga to. Tumanggap daw ba ang administration party, hindi naman sige presidente, but the administration party, ng donasyon kay Napoles?
There is no record. According to COMELEC, I see from the record, there is no reported donation from to the Liberal Party.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Secretary Lacierda.
Thank you, Vance. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat.
Sir, stand by, may ambush interview. Thank you, Radio TV Malacañang. Thank you, IBC 13, PTV 4, and of course, Radyo ng Bayan.